Hello dear fans, friends and subscribers. This is your host welcoming you to your regular edition of the Cricket Happening Show. Well, on this edition of Cricket Happening Show, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just turn away. Definitely we are going to talk cricket. It is obvious. On my Cricket Happening Show there's nothing else but cricket. So what I'm going to do is just looking at there's not much news to really talk about. So I'm taking a particular topic today. The topic being that whether and the reason that I'm taking the topic is because David Richardson, the South African, the ICC chief executive, or the ICC has actually said that nowadays what has happened is in international cricket, basically we are talking about one-day internationals and T20 cricket, which brings a lot of razzmatazz and lots of excitement as far as cricket is concerned. He feels that like when you say that the pen is mightier than the sword, which is a saying as we go in English, I would say he says that the bat is mightier than the ball. What Richardson is saying is that the bat is the one, like the batsmen are having an unfair advantage over the bowlers when it comes to limited overs internationals and even T20 cricket. And the reason that he says that is because the heavier bats that are used today, and like given an edge, or say for example, if you are going to even sort of push the ball, we have seen when those big hitters are into the fray, any of those. You can take Mahendra Singh Dhoni, you can go to Shahid Afridi, the ball really sails for a six. Even edges go for a six sometimes. Sometimes we have seen some strokes which probably one would have never even thought of, like a scoop shot, which have just become famous after in modern day cricket. With one-day cricket and T20, we see George Butler of England using it a lot, where he scoops the ball. Now, what he says, coming to the crux of it, the ICC chief executive Richardson has said that the bat is becoming mightier than the ball, and it also makes the batsmen have an unfair advantage over the bowlers, and the poor hapless bowlers are actually bowling their hearts out. Probably they are bowling at a lot of pace, but the delivery that they bowled probably has been, I wouldn't say it's a good ball, but basically even edges are carrying for sixes, and that is something that David Richardson has pointed out. So he says that now it's time for ICC to look at it and try to reduce the unfair advantage of the bat over the ball. Now what is going to happen? Now I wouldn't know, like dear friends and subscribers, whether you are all aware about it. Already some things are already in place. In fact, in this World Cup 2015, as you know, Australia have some large grounds, we all know, and since the World Cup is going to be held over there, what they're going to do is something surprising, but nevertheless I think Richardson has a definite point there, and since the batsmen are having an unfair advantage where even edges and even snicks are carrying for sixes, they have decided that in this World Cup 2015 the boundary ropes are going to be pushed back at least 90 yards. Wherever they have a chance to push the fence back, they're going to do that. So they're going to at least push the boundary ropes by 90 yards if possible, so that even if the ball hits the sweet spot of the bat, or as you say, the sweet spot of the bat, and makes a clanking sound and travels, at least the bowler would have an opportunity if the plays, in the sense, if the ground is really extended, as I said, if they get an opportunity to extend it by 90 yards at the fence, that would really help them. Because what would happen is that even though if they would have snicked it, it's quite possible that that particular ball would be held in the deep by someone. This is something they are going to try. And as you would know, there was a meeting of the MCC World Cricket Committee, and they decided they were deciding like how to actually they were discussing on how to not allow the bat to have bat to hold sway over the ball, and they came up with some lot of interesting observations and also some interesting suggestions, and the panel which was there, the MCC World Cricket Committee panel, like it consisted of like former great cricketers and also former captains, and they were trying to come to something where they could actually say that they could they thought that they could actually limit the length of the bat and also the circumference of the bat, so that the batsman, even though as we know the bowlers are always having a sort of an or at a disadvantage, because they bowl their heart out and the ball could sail for a six, and especially during the closing stages of the game, like in a 50 overs or a 20 overs, which is slam bang cricket, as we all know, the snicks or any of the edges are carrying for sixes, and we are seeing that a lot of centuries are being scored. Like the other day we saw A.B. de Villiers cracking the fastest ODI century in world cricket, and he holds the record of 31 balls. We saw Corey Anderson do it to the West Indies, where he scored it in 36 deliveries, and we also saw Shahid Afridi smack 67 of 29 balls against New Zealand. So there are a lot of things which are happening, and as I said, what Richardson is telling now, that's the reason I have taken up this particular topic, and I'm going to throw it out to you, dear friends subscribers, as to know like what you all think about it. As far as I'm concerned, what I would really say here is that this particular topic that David Richardson has actually broached is a very good topic. Now, in the World Cup, if they are going to actually push the boundary rope by say 90 yards, wherever possible, again, Australia generally have large grounds, and I think yes, this could be, I would rather agree with David Richardson. The only reason being that I'm agreeing with David Richardson, the chief executive of the ICC, is for the reason that definitely I agree with Richardson that the bat is mightier than the ball as far as one-day international T20 cricket is concerned. So in that scenario, what I would really say is, and the reason, let me also tell you the reason that I agree with David Richardson, the ICC chief executive. The reason being, if at all they could have, as I said, the MCC World Cricket Committee sat down and tried to chart out something, but nothing worked. Now, if they could actually, as I said, they could limit the width of the bat and also limit the length of the bat, so that at least if that would have been the case, then probably what Richardson was telling now could have been disagreed. But now one has to agree with this, because as I said, bowlers definitely have an unfair advantage nowadays with the power play, with the fielders inside the circle, the ball will sail. So I think it is it is something, a very good thing which has been thought out, I would say, by David Richardson, whereby he says that they are in this World Cup they are going to move the boundary rope by 90 yards. Well, that would be pretty interesting. I think that would really make it a very even competition as far as World Cup is concerned. So there's no unfair advantage, because I think by doing that they are also ensuring if at all any edges or anything is going to carry, if at all any of the cricket players have a heavier bat, it's quite possible that that edge might even probably go into the hands of the fielders. So this is just an experimentation that they are doing, and I think I'm absolutely game enough. On my cricket show, I would say I entirely agree with what David Richardson is doing. So let's see. Probably this is the way it has to be, and it will be interesting then. So World Cup will, according to me, will become all the more interesting, giving an opportunity to all the teams. Because I think this will really make it, the World Cup will be really interesting, and it would be very good to know when the edges carry or the snicks carry, whether this experiment of actually miss-hitting the ball, whether it still carries for a six, or whether it is something where some catches are being held in the deep. So that will probably give the ICC a real a sort of a kaleidoscopic view to see what they can do in the future. I really am very happy to see that this is something which David Richardson, the ICC Chief Executive, has brought up, and that's the precise reason I wanted to touch base on that today. And I would also like to know, dear friends, subscribers, what you all think, because I definitely feel that the bat is mightier than the ball as far as one-day international and T20 cricket is concerned. And by doing this, I think it would things would become not very even, because nowadays, as you know, when the T20 or one-day internationals are played, it's not because you have a certain target to chase. So basically, there is a target to chase, and I always have a feeling that when it comes to the final overs, and if at all any recognized batsmen or big hitters are there, if they go full tilt at the ball, because that is the time they are aiming at the target, and also at the end of, as we call it, the slog overs, even if they might have a wild swing at the ball, because they are not bothered, they have wickets in hand, and the ball might still sail for sixes. But in this case, by actually pushing the boundary rope 90 yards, it's quite possible that the ball might not go for a six, and the ball might be sailing, will be high up in the sky, and one of the fielders in the deep, before it reaches the fence, would actually pounce the catch. Now, yes, so it will be interesting to see whether this experiment is something which is really going to be very good, because if at all, I think that if at all, despite that, if we see edges carrying for sixes, then I think we definitely have to look at an option of reducing the circumference of the bat so that, you know, it doesn't hit the sweet spot and doesn't throw. So I have a feeling that this is something, this experiment is really going to help as far as the World Cup is concerned, and I really hail this move by the ICC to extend the boundary rope by 90 yards in this World Cup 2015. As you know, we have 9 days. The countdown has already started as far as the World Cup is concerned. It's only 9 days now remaining as far as the World Cup is concerned. So what a wonderful feeling it is. I can't wait to actually witness the World Cup. And I would love to watch the entire 49 matches, but you know, I mean, as I said, I wouldn't say that I would be in a position, but well, as you know, my cricket happening show is something which would always be there to cover each and every match of the World Cup. Well, if I'm not on that, you can always see me on Twitter. Probably I would be tweeting on some of the matches. I'll try my best. It depends on my office timings too. But well, you know, cricket is something dear to me, so I would say that you would definitely see me on the Cricket Happening Show daily, covering all those 49 matches in the ICC Cricket World Cup 2015. So from here, dear fans and subscribers, I'm going to see whether there is any cricket news or anything of the sort that I could really talk with you. As far as cricket is concerned, let's have a look and see what's in real store here as far as cricket is concerned. Well, I don't have much to really talk about. I think that would really bring an end to this Cricket Happening Show, which was for a difference. In fact, as I said, I took a particular topic and started dwelling on it. I hope you all liked it. I would definitely like your suggestions. What's your opinion on what I told? Whether you also feel, dear friends and subscribers of Cricket Happenings, also all the newbies who actually are watching me on Cricket Happenings for the first time, whether this move by the ICC, whether you feel in one-day international and T20 cricket, whether the bat is mightier than the ball or the ball is mightier than the bat, and if at all you feel so, I would also like to know your reasons for saying this, for making this particular statement. It would be pretty interesting. We can have a good cricket forum here, and I am eliciting some good views and also some good opinions. Probably, you know, I know I'm not a big. I'm just doing my cricket. Being a cricket host, it is just a passion for me. I love the game, and you know, you dear friends subscribers also love me talking. So I come back to you day in and day out and, you know, narrate all these cricket stories to you. So it will be interesting to see how you all dear friends subscribers shape up and put up your opinions, and it will be interesting to see what you all come up with. Well, on this very note, dear fans and subscribers, your host Ram is taking leave now, but promising you will all be seeing me on my next Cricket Happening show, and that will be tomorrow. Until then, it's good night from your host Ram Studios. Thank you.